You are just joining. Thought I had it set up. I guess I didn't. If you're just joining, please mute your microphone. You can prevent noise disturbances, distractions from the presentation. Be super great. Thank you. Mr. Farias is here. Thank you for coming. I think this is Dr. Garcia.
Hi, Megan.
Here you are. Hello.
How are you doing?
Well, how are you?
It's great.
Yay. Because there was a huge influx of people who just joined. So, hi, Alan. I see you're here.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, how are you?
Good, good.
What's up, Alan?
Okay.
Now to Best Buy. And I'm cool.
I'm going to send out a reminder to SDC real quick.
Green on green was just too much green for me. I was blending in.
All right, if you are here, just a note, if you're here for extra credit, please either use the QR code that's on the screen or go to this link to sign into your class if you haven't already. Thank you, Ace. To it.
And just before we get started, good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who are in my classes, please indicate which class you are in, whether it's 2306 or 2305, and the section number for the 2305 class is 083, and for the Texas government is 070. Thank you.
On the form. Indicate that on the form. Okay. I think we'll be ready to start. Ms. Sanchez is joining now. Hi, Ms. Sanchez. Thank you for joining.
Good afternoon.
Okay, we'll give it another minute and then we'll start for the fashionably late people.
Now, Megan, your hair is looking a lot shorter. Did you cut your hair last time I saw you?
No,
wow.
I
It looks a lot shorter. It looks cute.
I'm very glad I cut it. All right, it is 4:05. We're going to go ahead and get started. So first of all, thank you all so much for coming, whether you're here for a class or if you're faculty, just here to support SGA. We really appreciate your attendance. So first off, again, if you're attending for extra credit, please use the QR code or the link in the chat. We'll be posting it periodically. The QR code will also be at the end of this presentation, so if you miss it this time or if someone comes in late, you'll still be able to access it. Also, again, please remain muted during the presentation. There will be time for questions after. If you do have a question, feel free to send it in the chat, or there's a blue hand. If you click on participants, there should be a blue hand icon that pops up for you. You can use that and I'll be able to see it. And you can ask a question or say what you need
Oh,
to
yeah,
say.
it's better.
All right, next slide, please, Talia. All right, so first, introductions. First up, we have Dr. Veronica Garcia. She's the president of Northeast Lakeview College. We also have our interim vice president for student success, Dr. Tangela Dove. Our vice president for academic success, Dr. Laura Boyer Sanchez. Next slide, please. Our deans for academic success, Dr. Shante Rakasner, Ms. Tammy Perez, and Mr. William Fanning. We also have our dean for student success, Ms. Julie Kirkland Poyer. We also have our student trustees for 2020 to 2021, Darius Martin from St. Philip's College, and our alternate trustee for Northeast Lakeview College, Ms. Morgan Varela, who is also in attendance today. Moving on to our executive board for student government, we have myself, Megan Setterbo. I am the president for SGA this year. We have our secretary, Talia Christian, who's also controlling my slides, our slides. Our historian, Felicity Ross, who sadly couldn't join us today, and our treasurer, Ventura Trevino. We also have our student senator, Danielle Ruiz, who is our senator for student success, who is also here. We're very excited to have her. And our SGA advisors, Mr. John Jacobs, Director of Student Life, and Professor Mohsen Omar, who teaches government. So first off, we're going to do something a little fun. If everyone could please go to this code, www.menti.com. It'll also be in the chat. And when you get to that, no, not that one. Menti.com. And when prompted, please enter the code 6811 or use the QR code to open the link. And it'll show, when you get there, it'll show a prompt. Talia, if you could please pull that up. So when you go to that website, it'll show you this prompt. It'll also ask you to enter some words or short phrases in regards to this question. And I see we already have some. Thank you so much. Oh, is it not showing it? Oh no, it's not. Talia, do you see words on your?
It says login or sign up on my thing.
Okay. I'm so sorry. This is a new program. I'm going to share my screen real quick, and then Talia.
If it makes you feel better, it worked for me.
There we go. If everyone can see this. There we go. Can everyone see the word cloud?
No, we see your email.
Dang it.
It was up just a minute ago, though.
How about now?
Yes, that's it.
There it is.
Yes.
I really like these answers. I wasn't expecting. That sounds bad. Okay. So it seems like y'all are feeling pretty good. That makes me feel good. I think I have it set up so everyone can enter at least 5 words, and I think you can enter more than once. You can enter up to 5 words at a time. And the really interesting thing about this program that's really cool is the more that someone enters in the same word, the bigger the word gets. Oh, this is so cool. I'm glad we did this. Supported. Supported, that's good. Independent, excited. Disciplined. I feel that. God, these are great answers. Y'all can keep filling them in. It's fine. Ready. I like that one. Y'all feel ready. That's good. Thank you, Crystal. Okay, nervous, anxious. I feel anxious. I'm gonna do it. Why aren't I doing it? I should be doing it, huh? Awesome. I totally agree, Ms. Perez. That's really, I wasn't expecting excited to be one of the biggest words either. So the great thing about this is we will also be able to share this entire little word cloud on our Alamo Experience page. So maybe in the future, when we get back on campus, if you participated today, then you can go back on our Alamo Experience page and see this picture, and maybe you still agree with some of the things that were said in regards to this question. Maybe you disagree, maybe you feel better about it. Hopefully you feel better about it. I really hope y'all don't feel worse about it. I think so far Up for the Challenge might be one of my favorites. I don't want to choose favorites, but I think that one I really feel right now. Okay, so it looks like we're slowing down. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing. Talia, if you don't mind sharing your screen again.
Yes, of course.
All right, that's exciting. Thank you everyone for participating. All righty. So now that that's done, if y'all want to add more later, you can go ahead. I'm okay if you want to add more words or more phrases. I will now turn the floor over to Dr. Garcia with her presentation about what fall 2020 is going to look like.
Hold on 1 second, because I think it jumped slides.
Should be 13.
Okay, sorry.
There you go.
Today we're excited to be sharing, and I agree with the excitement. We're excited to share what's our plans are for the fall. I brought my team, Dr. Laura Sanchez and Dr. Tangela Dove, who also have key roles in making sure that everything's in place for the fall. So I'm gonna transition to these wonderful ladies to help me through this presentation, and then we'll all be available to answer some questions. So that's the number one question. So what's happening in fall? What are we doing? How are we coming back? And so I think that's what we want to share with you today. So Talia, if you go to the next slide, please. We want to share first some things of what's happening. surprisingly, we were a little bit worried about enrollment. We thought that our enrollment numbers weren't going to quite be there and that students would sort of stop out or, with all of this uncertainty, but we're experiencing record enrollment. We continue to experience record enrollment. Last year at this time, we had about 3,900 students. We now have 4,200 already registered for the fall semester. For spring semester, we've exceeded that. We anticipated only having 2,300 students enrolled, and we ended up with 25. So clearly the remote learning, although it's been a little challenging, hasn't deterred students, which is a good thing. They are marching forward and moving in their direction. They're not letting something like COVID stop them from achieving their goals. So we wanted to say congratulations to you and to your colleagues for continuing, even though that we're in the middle of a pandemic, you're all just moving forward. So that's a positive thing. Okay, next slide, Talia, please. So a couple things. In the fall semester, even though COVID is happening, we're still going to have our groundbreaking. We expect our new building that's going to be behind the academic building to break ground in October. We wanted to show you a sneak peek of some of the pictures. This is what the exterior of the building looks like. It's going to be 80,000 square feet. We are submitting to the board in September for final approval so we can break ground in October. And then I have a couple of slides if you go to the next slide. So that's the front facing. That'll be facing towards academic. And then this is a little bit closer view. There'll be an overhang and there'll be two entrances to the building. So that's just one view there. Go ahead and go to the next slide, Talia. And then this is an aerial view, so you have an idea. So the building in the back, I can't point, but the building in the back is the traditional academic building and Kate. So it'll be towards the right of that building, but that's what it's going to look like. The larger portion of the building is where our advanced manufacturing, much of our other traditional courses for STEM, science and engineering will be. And then in the building that's closest to the parking lot, that's where all our science courses will be held. So we'll have chemistry, we'll have physics. So there'll be huge classrooms in there with labs. And then in that center part, we'll have a tutoring area. So next slide will show you a little bit of the interior, what that looks like. So in this, the right picture, which has those little seating areas, that will be behind the building facing the lake. So facing the lake, we're going to have some seating areas like we do right now between academic and student success. But in that student commons area, those rails are open. These are going to be closed to give you a little bit more protection from the sun. And it'll be a nice area just to sort of hang out. And then on the interior, which we're very excited, we'll actually have a secondary coffee cafe. So we'll have, lattes and Starbucks and all that fun stuff. And so when you're walking into the building, you'll be able to have that coffee smell. So we're really excited about that. Right now, the rendering on this has a very science-y background. So we're excited about that. But we're going to be bringing you much more pictures at our next presentation as the architects are finalizing the interior. We'll also be sharing with you some of the fun furniture that we're buying. A lot of that furniture has been on academic third floor, and we know that we've taken it to the gaming area and to student commons, and so students have been voting on what furniture they like and what furniture they really don't like. And they're very vocal about, no, we don't like this piece of furniture, get rid of it. So we're excited to be bringing that to you. I think another excitement, I don't know if it's in here, JJ, did we talk about the elevator? The secondary elevator? No, right? Okay, so in the academic building, you all know there's only one elevator, right? So in October, again, we'll also be breaking ground behind the academic building. Let's see, Talia, can you go back to the building that had all the buildings? Go backwards. There you go, one more. Right there. Okay, so do you see where the gray, and I can't point, but where the gray in between the academic building and the new building, that back end where there you go, Talia, keep going to the left. Down. Nope, you went too far. No, stay where you're at, but I mean your arrow. So your arrow is in between those two buildings, we're adding a secondary elevator. So that's going to take in place. So right now the elevators on the left side, we're actually going to have an elevator all the way in the opposite end. So we're hoping that that work will be done by spring semester. So the academic building will finally have 2 elevators, which I think will make it nice. There you go. Talia, thank you for circling. That's exactly where it is. Yay! Thank God she's got technology. So in that space right there is where we'll have that secondary elevator. So you're going to see some construction, and you guys are going to be wondering, like, what is going on here? So that's what's happening to that building. We will be having that elevator installed there, and then we'll be breaking ground on the big building. Now, the goal for the new building will be that we will be open by fall 2022. So we're very excited. It's going to take about 1.5 years, but it's going to be a gorgeous building, and we'll keep bringing you back some renderings so you have an idea. So this is something fun. We wanted to just bring you some exciting things, not just, you know, oh, we're in COVID, but here's some fun things, and we're really excited about that. So next slide. Now, many of you had, next slide, many of you had mentioned, you know, last time when we met about the importance of having some opportunities to have conversations about equity and social justice. And so we've had 2 community dialogues with students and with faculty and with staff. We've had some faculty conversations. I know the team has put some conscious cafes, which are happening every Friday in the month of June and July. So we're trying to offer some options for students to be able to have an opportunity to have some discussion, as well as staff and faculty. And they had a great panel on racism, the discussion. And then the leadership wants to take this to the next level. So we'll be meeting, as a matter of fact, this week on Thursday with a gentleman who's going to really help us be more laser focused on what we want to engage in for fall and spring. And from that, we hope to not only have a robust plan for our faculty and staff, but then align it with some of the work that you are all doing as students, and have something that that we both can move this initiative forward and really create that cultural equity mindedness family that we want to have. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So thank you for all. I do want to say thank you for attending those. I know that those were challenging for some of you, and I just want to say I appreciate your support, and I appreciate your honesty and candor on what NLC needs to do to move to the next level. So what's happening for fall, right? That's the number one question. What are we doing for fall with COVID? Are we opening? Are we not opening? So we anticipated originally having a lot more classes on campus, and then Texas decided to surge, right? And so we went ahead and scaled back a little bit. We are in the process of installing all our plexiglass, installing a lot of the signage for social distancing. We are going to continue to be remote. And for those classes that are going to be in person, because we're going to have a very small group of classes that we're going to be offering to try to bring students back in, we are going to have those face-to-face. But then in around Thanksgiving, that the week after Thanksgiving, that following Monday, we're going to move everybody to remote. We expect with cold season that there's going to trigger another, and so we just want families to be safe, students and faculty and staff to be safe. So we just said we'll do final exams remote, so that way we can have people go back during that height of flu season. There will be no changes to the academic calendar. We're still going to start on the first day of the semester. We do have some challenges with our ISD JECA on our campus, and so we're trying to work things out with them, but they still will start just like they do now with us in the semester. So we don't expect any changes there. Talia, next slide, please. So obviously safety first. That is our critical, what I would say core value, is we want to make sure that everyone's safe. So we're following the CDC guidelines. We're putting up plexiglass, we're putting up lots of signage. I was there on campuses today, actually walking all the buildings and looking at the signs. We'll have a signage in the elevator so that we can only have 4 people in the elevator at the same time. And so I've been walking those buildings. We're going to have that limited campus instruction, and then all employees, just so you're aware, have all are required to go through an online infectious disease prevention training. So we're making sure that everybody is aware of what the do's and don'ts of how we move forward in this new environment. Next slide, please. Okay, so we're considered, some of you may have gone to our website, and so there are levels of criteria. We're considering that we're at level 4 right now, which means up to 10% of essential personnel will be on campus, like IT, our public safety will be on campus. We'll be offering those limited courses of sciences. Well, we're not going to be offering sciences, but we're going to offer generic, some general classes is what we're going to be offering. Most of our classes are going to be on site, and then our one-stop student success, Dr. Dove is going to go into detail what support services will be available and which ones we are going to be doing more like a concierge, where you make an appointment and then you can meet with someone. And the same thing with the library staff, which Dr. Sanchez will go over. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So our safety protocols. So we wanted to give you an idea of what that looks like. So as you can see, the signs are there. So we're going to have 2 check-ins. We're going to have check-ins for students, and we're going to have check-ins for employees. So we're going to have them separate, and then we're going to have what we call express check-in for those students that are coming from the JECA side that are getting that they're getting screened at their high school. So everyone will have to have their temperature checked. Everyone will have to be wearing a mask. If they don't have a mask, we'll provide one, but we're asking everybody to be prepared to bring the mask covering. And then we will give you a wristband. And what the wristband is going to do is going to allow you to be free for the day. You don't have to keep coming back and getting a temperature check. So our temperature check stations will be available from 7:15 to 2:30. Our students are going to be in Cape, but we might be changing that. So please don't hold on this one. As things shifting with our construction, buildings that we thought we had access to, we don't have access to, so we're going to be doing some shifting, but we will be posting where our students are going to check in and where our employees are going to check in. So those 2 bullets have already switched from this morning. As I said, once screened and cleared, each of you will receive a wristband that is going to change colors. So every day we'll have a new color. So that way we know that you have been checked for the day. And so that's what the pictures will look like. We actually had some employee samples so you can see what it looks like to get your temperature check and then get your wristband. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So social distancing will be enforced in all buildings, classrooms, and labs. We wanted to give you a sneak peek about what some of the signage will look like. So when you come on campus, you can see what you're looking at. Some of our staircases we've already designated as one way. We do have our larger ones will be 2-way, where we have students coming up and down. We have sneeze guards and plexiglass barriers in those high frequency visitor areas, classrooms, and we'll be utilizing touchless technology. There will be traffic flow, just like you see it right now. You see it at HEB, you see it at Lowe's, right? Everybody going this way, everybody coming back that way. So we're pretty much going to mirror much of that, so it shouldn't look too different. Talia, next slide, please. All right, so to maximize safety, we're going to limit the number of buildings that we will be open. Right now, most of our classes will be held in the library. And again, that slide has already changed because the cyber cafe is not where we're going to be doing employee screening. We're actually moving that into another location. But the parking lot, we are going to limit our parking lot so that we can bring everyone through a funnel. And so parking lot 7, that is going to stay. Parking lot 7 is where we'll have all of our students, faculty, and staff park. We will be waiving the fee for fall, so there will be no fee for the parking lot, and we will be continuing our free Wi-Fi in all our parking lots, but we're going to designate parking lot 3 just for those students that want to do that Wi-Fi, because that's one of our strongest locations, and so we want to make sure that students have access to strong Wi-Fi so that they can be in the parking lot. There will be no food service during this time, so the cyber cafe and the cafeteria will be closed. and the water fountains and the vending machines will be closed. That's because we can't ensure that people aren't touching the water fountains or passing the virus, and we don't have enough staff to sort of keep that thoroughly clean. So those are going to be closed off. So we'll be sending lots of messaging for those students that are going to be on campus to make sure that they have that they bring water, that they bring some things. Now we are going to our pantry is going to be working, and our student life is going to be working on trying to create some grab and go items, because we know inevitably somebody, but we need to be able to have something that you could just that somebody can hand you, like a granola bar. We'll still have some things like that that we'll offer to students so that they don't go hungry. Next slide, please. So we wanted to show you where the parking lots were. So parking lot 3 is behind the science and that wellness in that back area, where usually we have our, we had our veterans run there. That's that parking lot that we're talking about. And then parking lot 7 is right across the career tech. And that's where students will park to come to class. But parking lot 3 is just specifically going to be designated for the Wi-Fi. Now, all our parking lots have Wi-Fi, so you can go to any of them, but I would say the strongest is in lots 3 and 7. All right, next slide. All right, so Dr. Sanchez is going to give you a little bit more detail about what's happening on the instruction side and what support services are going to be available, and then it'll transition to Dr. Dove. Dr. Sanchez?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. As Dr. Garcia mentioned, we are having a very limited number of courses on campus. Those courses are primarily limited to our IT workforce programs, some of their labs, our engineering program with A&M, a couple of their A&M engineering courses, and some of the courses that we support are Judson Early College High School Academy, which does also have some traditional students. I would recommend that you look in the course schedule, because it does identify for each section whether or not the course is remote or online or in person. So those notes are in the schedule for your viewing. As far as tutoring, the tutoring will remain remote for the semester as it has been in the spring. The remote hours for tutoring is Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 7, Friday, 9 a.m. to 2, and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1. You can access tutoring a couple of ways. You can do Zoom tutoring with our in-person tutors, but through Zoom, and make appointments through BrainFuse. And you can also access the BrainFuse online tutoring that we have through the BrainFuse vendor. You can also we now are going to have drop-in sessions available with our tutors. So that's a new type of way to access tutoring within BrainFuse, and as well as scheduling those one-on-one appointments through BrainFuse with our tutors or through BrainFuse. And some of our sections will also have supplemental instruction or also some academic coaching going on that's accessible. We are going to have an open computer lab. We have recently changed this. This slide says it's going to be an academic one, but actually that lab is now going to be in the library because we have moved our classes to the library. So the open computer lab will be in NLIB 124, which is the library instruction lab. And this will be for limited access. The purpose of this lab is really for students who are attending a class on campus and who may have a remote class either directly before or after their on-campus class, and then don't have time to travel home or to another location to access the class. So we wanted to provide a space where that would be available for students that have adjoining classes in that particular kind of situation. That lab will be open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Next slide, please. For the library, again, the main library will be closed. However, we have full virtual operations available, and those are available extended hours. Again, Monday through Friday, we have hours, as well as on until 5 p.m. on Friday.
Ooh.
The in-person services that we'll have available are your book drop, and then we will have the ability to make some limited appointments to do curbside pickup of materials. If there is a material that you need from the library, you can go to the library website and schedule an appointment to be able to do a curbside pickup of that library material if you need it. And then again, we have our full suite of services and reference help and research help and all of those things available virtually for our students with our librarians and our library staff. Next slide. And I believe the next will be Dr. Dove.
Hello, everyone. So for the student success on-site services, we're going to be at a less than 25% capacity. On-site services that we will be offering will be assessment, testing, and proctoring. Advocacy will have some items, the business office, and student financial aid. All of these will be by appointment only, Mondays and Thursdays only between the hours of 8 and 2. However, for those of you all that have been in our Student Commons building, you've noticed that we've had some foundation issues. We've had some foundation issues inside and outside. So sometime in the fall, we're thinking possibly in September, we will be taking student success back to totally being remote in order to fix the moisture barrier and our foundation issues. But during the time that the building is still open, we will have the 4 services from 8 to 2, Monday and Thursday. And so there's been some questions about the bookstore. The bookstore will be offering curbside services starting on August 10th through September 4th. Their curbside services will be in the roundabout between the Fine Arts Building and the Performing Arts Building. And so there will be more to come. We're going to be sending out flyers through your Nighthawk notes. Concerning the bookstore, we'll be sending something through Alamo Experience. And so once that is finalized, you'll get something on the bookstore, the hours, and the process. Next slide.
So it's important that you all keep yourselves informed. Now, a couple of things, Megan. We're going to make the tweaks to the slides that changed. We just had a construction meeting, and so that's why everything shifted. We had prepared our slides, we had prepared our plans, and we had prepared our signs. And then we met with the contractors, and it just threw everything to heck in a handbasket. But, you know, that's what happens. And so we're trying to take advantage of trying to get some of these things, you know, taken care of. So we will update all of those little tweaks that we had mentioned on the PowerPoint, so that way you have the latest and greatest and you have it correct. And then it's important that in order for you all to keep yourself informed, that you know, we'll still be sending our Nighthawk notes. We're going to be sending text messages through the advisors, and then, you know, obviously through Alamo Experience, and then of course our social media. And then we will have another town hall with you all. And as you know, Megan and I meet once a month, and she brings any concerns or issues. So if you have any questions, we're open. I don't know if you want to take questions now or you want to work later. Megan, it's your show. You tell me how you want to move forward.
If anyone has any questions for Dr. Garcia or her team, you can go ahead and ask them now in the chat or raise your hand and I can unmute you.
Oh, there was one question, I think, Megan, that you also, we can answer that. Go ahead and go to the next slide, Talia. We can answer that question. I think that was a consistent question that we were getting about would we have a pass, no pass option for summer and for fall. We're actually looking into this. We're having conversations with the district teams and with the vice presidents. One of our biggest challenges is that the universities really haven't agreed to that. And so what we want to make sure that if we make a decision, that we're not going to make a decision that's going to adversely impact you all. So we say, yes, go ahead and do a pass, no pass, and then you transfer to UTSA and they say no. So we're trying to work with the universities to find out what their plans are. And so we're hoping to finalize that maybe in the next 2 weeks, Dr. Sanchez. Is that reasonable? 2 to 3 weeks? You're on mute.
We are hopeful to try and get that decision made in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. If it were up to us, it'd be much easier. But we have all these partners that we have to try to work with. Okay, so now we're open for questions. Well, either our presentation was amazing or it's the end of the day.
That's usually how it is. All right.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia. If y'all have questions later, again, we will have a Q&A session at the end of this presentation. If we can't answer your questions, we'll keep track of them and contact you when we do have an answer, just to let you know. Alrighty, so let's get back into it. Next slide, please, Talia. Oh, okay, so we're going to go into another poll. Question number 1, are you becoming more comfortable with remote or online learning? And then the answers are yes, no, or indifferent. So everyone should have a little pop-up on their screens. If you could answer that, please. And I see, oh, wow, okay. That's quick. All right, cool, okay. All right, so the majority right now is most people are becoming more comfortable with remote learning and online learning. I'll give it a couple more seconds because mostly everybody has answered. We're at 71%.
And just so y'all don't feel bad, we're also doing this online with Zoom, and all of the employees have really been working hard. So we're struggling with you is basically what I'm trying to say.
Okay, cool. I think that's everybody. That's really cool. Oh, okay, we have another person. I want to give everybody the chance to answer if they haven't. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll, so don't worry if you, oh, well, no, never mind. We have more answers coming in, oh boy. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll. Don't worry if you didn't answer. We had, okay. So we had 80%, we had 35 people who voted out of the 45 who are currently attending, so that's pretty cool. 80% or 28 participants who voted answered yes. 3 participants answered no, and 4 participants said they were indifferent. So that's pretty cool. All right, next slide, please, Talia. Okay, so this poll is more of a free response. We'd like to know if there are any features of Zoom or Canvas you like or dislike, and this can be free response. You can put these answers in the chat, and we will save it and use it to look back. Stop sharing results. Personally, I really enjoy that Canvas kind of allows us to communicate with our classmates and our professors directly on the platform. It's really easy. You can see people in each class that you have. If you have more than one class, it's really easy to talk to them. It's really easy to get a group together. So I think that's probably my favorite feature about Canvas. I'll give y'all a few seconds to type. Yeah, that's a great point, Ms. Davis. Yes, I really like the way they have the calendar set up on Canvas, that it's all color coded for you. I don't have to do it myself. Yep. The breakout sessions are fun too on Zoom. Okay, if you're still typing, don't worry. You still have time. You can still submit any comments or questions you have in the chat box. We're going to move on. Next slide, please, to our student activity fee presentation portion of the presentation. So hopefully most of you are aware that all students pay a student activity fee. This fee is broken down. It's every student pays $3 per credit hour they're taking. So if you are taking a 3 credit hour class, then you're paying $9 in the student activity fee for that class, for each of your 3 credit hour classes. In early March until April 17th, there was a district-wide student activity fee survey released to students to complete. Our goal at NLC was to reach 10% of our student population, which is about 680 students. We ended up receiving 707 responses, which was actually pretty exciting, because it's always exciting when you hit your goals, but it's even more exciting when you exceed your goals. Also related to student service fee, the student activity fee, on our campus, we have a student service fee advisory committee. It is a group of 4 faculty and staff members, 5 students, and 1 non-voting faculty or staff chairperson. This committee manages the yearly budget and any student activity fee requests made by student organizations or by the Alamo Institutes. This sounds weird to say, but the less involved you are on campus, the better it is for you to be involved with the student activity fee committee, because we have to be, what is it? What's the word? Oh no, I blanked.
Unbiased.
Biased. Thank you.
Impartial.
Impartial. Perfect. Yes, you have to be impartial when voting on student activity fee requests, especially if you're involved in the organization that is making the request. I've been there so many times, but it's fun. We only meet about once a month, and we communicate primarily through email. So if you're interested in being involved on campus, or you're interested in analyzing budgets or finances or spreadsheets, then we'd really love to have you in this committee. Next slide, please. Okay, so district-wide, and this is very exciting, district-wide from past years, there was a 348% increase in student responses for this survey across the district. That's a lot. I believe this is the tallest. Oh gosh, it doesn't have the years on here. It did. I think the first bar is from 2017 to 2018, and the second is from 2018 to 2019. So that's a little over triple of our previous total responses. So that's just really exciting. Next slide, please. Talia? Is she on? Okay, there she is. When we released, oh, last one, please. The previous slide. Oh, there you are. Just hit the back arrow. Talia, can you set it? Okay, there we go. Okay, so for the survey, we broke it down. Oh, oh no. To the enrollment status breakdown, please. Okay, perfect. So for the survey, we broke it down by enrollment status. We let student, oh, you can't even see it. Okay, so students were asked to enter their enrollment status for each of their colleges. Yellow represents part-time students. Green represents students who didn't respond to the question, and blue represents full-time. So most students didn't answer with their full-time or part-time status, but that's okay. That's just a breakdown. This is from a presentation that the student governments and the directors of Student Life of all the colleges made to the board. When was that? That was this month? Oh, that was last week. Cool. Okay. Yeah, next slide, please. Okay, moving on. These are some of the challenges across the district that students reported were the reason that they didn't participate in events on campus. So you can see the percentage breakdown on the left, and then obviously these are ranked by the amount of students who reported this being an issue. Lack of time or the timing of event is the biggest issue, and this was reflected in the breakdown that we received for students who made comments. A lot of students in the survey reported that between work, school, and family, they really didn't have a lot of time to go to these events, but some requested times that would work for them, which is also really helpful. Childcare, lack of awareness, and transportation were also huge issues. We had a lot of students asking for more childcare or daycare services. As you can see, 9% answered lack of awareness as the issue for why they didn't, attend. So if you were active in a student organization on campus, please make note that advertisements do affect your turnout rates. Next slide, please. The recommendations.
I have a question.
Yes, Kristen.
On this previous slide, and even on this slide showing right now, are those numbers for NLC or for district?
These are district-wide, but I do have the information for NLC. I can send it to you after.
Okay. Thank you.
So yes, this is district-wide. We weren't able to get the NLC breakdown as a separate slide presentation, but I do have the information. These are just some of the district-wide recommendations from students for more activities, but this also lines up with a lot of what I saw on our NLC breakdown. A lot of students were asking for more family activities, more outdoor physical activities. A lot of students were asking for more sports teams, different sports, varieties of sports. Next slide, please. This is the, oh, sorry. I know it looks, so this presentation was taken from another presentation and it did not translate well into Google Slides. JJ, do you want to take this one?
Absolutely. My name is John Jacobs, again, Director of Student Life, and what you see in front of you is the 2019-2020 student activity fee. So this is the total amount of money that was collected from student activity fee that year, $265,000. Of that, we spent $217,000. That includes items that are earmarked for the summer as well. So you can see them broken down by different categories: Alamo Institutes, clubs and sports. You have general programs, leadership and support, personnel, and others. You can see much of our budget goes into personnel because we have 3 coaches and a full-time person that really makes our clubs and robust. So excited about our basketball, women's basketball team, men's basketball team, and volleyball team. They are #1s in the conference, so that's what they have. Our next large item is general program, stuff like this, virtually, Nighthawks Day, and events that you see on campus. And then the next biggest thing is our clubs and organization. Our others are looking at different leadership opportunities, professional developments. The others really is on the students, SSFAC. They do a lot of funding for student travel and all that. So that's what you're seeing in front of you, the total amount of money spent from your student activity fees and what you're paying, the $3 per credit hour. Thank you so much, Megan.
Thank you, JJ. Next slide, please, Talia. Okay, so as far as fall 2020 goes, this was a question on the FAQ that this Office of Student Life compiled. So if you're asking, how will my student activity fees be used this fall? Here's the answer. Virtual programming and services will still be scheduled in the fall. We will still have events and programs going on. As far as I think most of them will be virtually, right? This includes, but is not limited to speakers, contests, other leadership opportunities, conferences, virtual events, health and wellness activities, more club and sports programming, professional development, advocacy support, and preparations for our return to campus. Okay, thank you, JJ. All events in fall will be virtual. So some upcoming events we have here. As you, on the right, I'm directionally challenged, I'm sorry. On the right, we have the current calendar of events from the Office of Student Life. You can also see the link and the QR code to take you directly to this webpage so you can see the whole calendar. It's more than just this. We also have the NLC story building activity for students.
Would you like me to report on that?
Please, if you'd like to.
Hi, I'm Crystal Willis Cortinas. I'm the Associate Director for Student Life, and currently we have a program going on, and this is for faculty, staff, and students and administrators alike. We want to capture your stories. We want to build an archival, virtual archive of what you guys are going through right now. It could be COVID related. It could be some of the racial injustices that are happening right now. We would love to capture these stories, and if you could send that to nlc-student@alamo.edu, and I'm sure somebody will put that in the chat. Just a journal. It's like a journal entry. We want to have a living document of what people were going through during this time period, because this is pretty historic. I don't know that we'll have another pandemic going on. I don't know. A lot of people are experiencing a lot of civil unrest right now, and this may be a good outlet for students, faculty, staff, administrators to actually put their thoughts out there and document what this time was like for them during this state of our normalcy right now. So 2020 is going to be a pretty epic year to remember. I can guarantee that. So that's why we were hoping to get people's feedback, and we'd like to get that from January 1 through August 31st. That's how long this journal entry is going on to.
Thank you. That is so much better than what I had written down. Again, there's the Office of Student Life calendar and QR code. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so here we go. I added this slide in today when I received the NLC specific breakdown of the student activity fee survey responses. So again, we didn't have a fancy little graph, which would have been really cool, but we don't have a graph for our responses, but I did compile some from the spreadsheet that I got. So again, this is specific to our college. This is what our students had asked for and what they want out of the student activity fee. So a lot of students, it came up more than once. Every single one of these sports came up more than once in that spreadsheet. Golf, football, baseball, powerlifting, tennis, and bowling. They'd like more free food events and more nutrition focused events. A lot of students had asked for events being held later in the afternoon. So one student I remember is a teacher, and she is only available after 4:30. So she wanted events that were later in the afternoon / early evening that she could also bring her kid to. So I thought that was interesting. I really like when, I really enjoy reading the personal reasons for why people want certain events or at certain times. Financial education also came up a lot. More students asked for more music, theater, and art programs and events and classes. There were a couple times when students had asked for groups for older students or students who are single parents, for single moms and single dads. American Sign Language courses or a club came up a couple times, and then free or low-cost childcare also came up a lot. So that's specific to NLC, but like I said earlier, it does kind of show in the district-wide results that we received. So I just think it's interesting how the 5 campuses are so different, but we all have the same, our students have the same ideas and the same wants out of college, out of their college experience. So that's just an example of what we received from our students. Next slide, please. So active this summer, some active student organizations are our brand new Black Student Union, led by our secretary for SGA, Talia Christian. She is also a co-president for the National Society of Leadership and Success on campus. She's also, the NSLS is also very active this summer. Gardening Club has kind of I don't want they've blossomed. Gardening club has really blossomed. That's a great metaphor. I remember when I first enrolled at NLC, when I first attended the officer roundtables we had every month, the gardening club was one person, and now they're one of the most active groups on campus right now. They've been maintaining the garden on campus. It's upstairs in the outside of the student commons. They've been maintaining that. They've been helping with food distribution, I think. They've been doing a lot of online events, so that's really cool to see how they've grown. And Campus Activities Board is also very active this summer. They've been planning for, oh, thank you, Crystal. Campus Activities Board has also been planning this summer and for next fall. And thank you, Crystal. Night Hacks and SGA have also been active. Oh, SGA has been active. The Night Hacks, I believe, it's a hacking student organization. It's relatively new, right?
So I can address that. That's Night Hacks is our student organization for our IT programs, and so they're going to be participating in competitions where they're internet security competitions around the area, and nationally where they're called hacking events. So they're going to be testing security and learning about security through those competitions. So they're going to be having a lot of fun doing that.
That's super cool. Thank you, Mr. Fanning. Awesome. Okay, yeah, I didn't know. Now I do. Alrighty, next up, this is actually pretty exciting for me. We are offering voting deputy training. So if you'd like to help people register to vote, this is the event to do that. Our upcoming online volunteer deputy registrar training dates are, is that this week? Next Thursday at 2 p.m., Wednesday, September 9th at 3 p.m., and Tuesday, September 15th at 6 p.m. That QR code is right there on the slide if you'd like to learn more about that event. The link will also be in the chat. And again, this presentation, the entire presentation will be online, available at our Alamo Experience page if you need to access this. Next slide, please. All right, we're going to get into another poll. Poll number 3 asks, are you registered to vote? The answers are yes, no, or ineligible, meaning you are under 18 or you have a variety of other reasons. We don't want to get into specifics, but we would like to see. Thank you, Mr. Fanning. Mr. Fanning said in the chat, the Night Hacks group is open to all students who might have an interest in participating in our IT security competitions. That's super cool. I'm so sorry, my mom is home. If you can hear her on the phone. Again, this question is just to gauge how many of our students are registered to vote. The next one is about how many students are interested in registering to vote. You don't have to be specific. It's just yes or no, or you can't register to vote, so it's fine. And I think we just ended our, oh gosh, what is it? We had a runoff election. The voting ended for our last election on the 14th, I believe. I know I went to vote. I love voting. I know that sounds kind of nerdy, but I love going to vote because it's one of the easiest ways to affect change in your community. That's how I view it. Okay, we have 80% of people who voted. Voting is kind of dying down, so I'm going to go, or polling has died down. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. Don't worry if you didn't get to answer. Alrighty, thank you so much for answering. Out of the 30 people who voted, 28 answered, 32 who voted. Okay, that's wrong. 28 people answered yes, 4 answered no, so that's fine. Nobody answered that they were ineligible, so that's pretty cool. All right, next slide, please, Talia. Poll number 4 asks, if you answered no and you are eligible to vote, meaning you're 18 years or older, 18 years old or older, are you interested in registering? So based on our last poll, this one shouldn't take too long. Oh. Okay, interesting. Again, this is if you answered no to the previous question. And you're like, if you're not registered to vote, but you'd like help in registering, yes or no? Okay, thank you. Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty, thank you for that feedback. Next slide, please. All right, if you are not registered to vote, but you are eligible and would like to register to vote, some good news for you. All students who are 18 years old and older will receive voter registration cards by mail from the college. So please remember to keep your mailing address updated in your ACES profile, because whatever address is there will receive a voter registration card. And we'd love for those cards to go out to students and not somebody who moved into your house 4 years ago because you didn't update your address. All right, so next we have this link and a QR code to the district COVID-19 information available to students through the main NLC webpage. So that's just for y'all to access. Ace, if you could please put that link in the chat. It should be under item E. Thank you. Yes, next slide, please. So this next slide is more COVID-19 information specifically for fall 2020. And again, that link will be in the chat if you'd like to check that out later or now. The Advocacy Center is still operating, albeit remotely. They will be accepting appointments to access the Advocacy Center, and the next portion of the presentation, Ms. Garcia, Director of Advocacy for NLC, will be going over some of her information. But just like last semester, all the Alamo Community College Advocacy Centers have partnered with the San Antonio Food Bank to provide food and other necessities for students. So if you need help, please feel free to contact the Advocacy Center and they will help. Next slide, please.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Cristela Garcia. I'm the new director of the Student Advocacy Center. So I'm new to the team, to the family. I'm trying to get used to my new routine working from home. So nice to meet everyone. I'm happy to be here. These past couple of months have been very challenging, right? We're experiencing a pandemic. We're experiencing the consequences of years and years of ignored discrimination and racism. And it's a lot for some of us. And so I just want to acknowledge that the fact that you guys are here, you guys are moving forward, like Dr. Garcia said, and that's important. That speaks a lot to your commitment to your education. So that's awesome. The mission of the center is to support your academic success and performance by providing integrated services and resources to address mental health, emotional, and socioeconomic needs. So we understand there are some needs outside of the classroom that may impact your academic performance. So we want to make sure that we're there to support you and to help you any way that we can. We're here to serve you. Next, please. So some of the services that we provide include counseling and case management. The way the process works is that you'll reach out to us, you'll complete a form, and then we'll do an assessment with you to identify your specific needs, and we'll develop a treatment plan to kind of help you address those needs. Right now, everything's being done remotely, and so some of the themes or some of the topics that we can discuss in our sessions include time management skills, right? We want to make sure that we provide you with tools and strategies that you can implement in your daily lives to be able to manage your work, your school, your personal lives, etc. We can also address mental health and substance use concerns. Mental health and substance use are some of those areas that have a lot of stigma attached to them. So a lot of people are afraid to reach out for help, right? But we are able to provide short-term counseling and then refer you out to the community if there are additional needs that you may have that require specific treatment. So again, San Antonio has a great recovery community. So if any of you are undergoing substance use concerns, reach out to us. We're here to support you. We'll be able to link you to resources in the community. That great support system that I'm talking about, there's a lot of peer support specialists that have the lived experience with mental health and substance use and are there to support you, to guide you. A lot of people recover and are living meaningful lives and productive lives. So we want to make sure that you have the support that you need. Other themes, and I won't go through all of them because I know, everybody's tired, so I don't want to put anyone to sleep. But so other themes that we can talk about include healthy relationships, right? And these are not just your intimate relationships, but relationships with your instructors, with your peers, with your family members. How do you build those healthy relationships so that you can then, have a better communication with them, build mutual trust and respect, etc. In addition to that, we can talk about racism, discrimination, LGBTQ matters, those kinds of things. So next slide, please. In addition, we're able to provide disability support services. And the way the process works is that you'll have to self-disclose that to us. You'll have to complete a form. You have to provide verification of your diagnosis in addition to all the paperwork or the application that you have to complete to request disability support services. We'll help you with writing a letter, providing those accommodations to you if need be. This process takes some time, so if you do have a disability, let us know ahead of time so that we can be there to support you and the accommodations are provided on time when the semester begins. Let's see what else. Oh, the other thing to keep in mind with this process is that it doesn't roll over to the following semester. So if you do have a disability and you request accommodations, that's only effective or valid for that semester. So the next semester, you will have to renew that application again. Okay, so keep that in mind. Next, please. We also have a food pantry. So right now, like Dr. Dove mentioned, we're going to be open on Mondays and Thursdays from 8 to 2 by appointment only. So if you do have a need, let us know. We're going to update our website. We don't have all this information there, but we're going to update the website so that you can have that information. For those of you that are part of the 10% and can be on campus, we're going to have grab and go snacks, granolas, those kinds of snacks for you. Make sure that you have your mask, your wristband, and we should be able to provide you with the quick snack for the day. Also, the phone number of the food bank is there because they also have food pantries throughout the county at different locations. So we want to make sure that if you have a need, immediate need, please reach out to them or reach out to us and we'll connect you. Next, please. Next steps. So like I said, I'm new to the team, to the family, so I'm still trying to learn the process and way things work, but we do have ideas of what we want to do in the future, and one of the things we want to do is expand our services and improve what we do and how we serve students. And so the first thing we're going to do is send out a student survey so that we can understand your needs and the things that you may benefit from. And if we're able to incorporate that into our services, we will do that. Of course, we still need approvals and all that good stuff. But that's one thing that we're going to do. The other thing is update our website so that it can reflect all the changes and all the updates. And in the future, we're hoping to have group services to include trauma recovery services, stress management, and LGBTQ matters. So those are just some of the ideas for the future. Next. And that's our information. Feel free to contact us. There's our email and our phone number. So again, if there's a need that you have that we can help you with, that we can serve you, please let us know. Don't hesitate. Don't wait till the last minute. If you're experiencing any type of mental health symptoms or high stress levels, isolation, let us know. Again, we want to support those needs so that you can be successful in your academic performance. So that's all I have, and good luck with this semester, guys. Nice meeting y'all.
Thank you so much, Ms. Garcia. We are so excited to have you on the team now and helping out with the Advocacy Center. Next slide, please, Talia. We're almost done, I promise. All right, so again, the laptop lending program is still going on. The school is still offering laptops for students who need them. All you have to do is go to this link or scan the QR code. All professors should also have access to, can y'all hear me? It says my microphone isn't working. Thank you, Crystal. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Yes, all of your professors should have access to the information on getting the laptop if you need one. Next slide, please. Okay, like Dr. Garcia mentioned earlier in her presentation, there will be Wi-Fi available in the NLC parking lots. As she said, Lot 7 and Lot 3 are the parking lots with the strongest Wi-Fi signals. This is just the map. This link and the QR code both go to the map, so you can zoom in and see, orient yourself on the campus to see where these lots are. Next slide, please. And that is it. Thank you so much for attending. We will now take questions if you have any. If you think of a question later, please feel free to message us on Instagram at NLC-SGA, one word, all lowercase, or email us at nlc-sga@alamo.edu. Again, if you need to sign in for extra credit for your classes, please use the link in the chat. It will be in the chat, or use the scan the QR code on the slide. And thank you again for coming. Thank you to all of our presenters, Dr. Garcia, her team, JJ and Crystal for your help, Mr. Fanning for telling us about the night hacks, because I wasn't exactly sure what it was. But thank you so much. Sounds super cool. And to Ms. Garcia from the Advocacy Center for your presentation. I really appreciate your help with that. Thank you, Grace. Nice meeting you too. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Ms. Grace. Again, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand, send it in the chat, and we will answer to the best of our ability. If you don't have any questions, you can go ahead and sign off, I guess. But thank you all. Thank you, Catarina. Thank you, Kayla Ray. All of you for coming. Thank you, Professor Omar, for working with your classes and encouraging them to attend. Thank you, Grace. Okay, if the QR code isn't working for you, the link is in the chat. Thank you, Ms. Travis. Alrighty.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Rudy. Thank you for your help. Ms. Perez, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming, Crystal.
Good meeting, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Great job, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Don't forget, Ms. Chastity, call me when you can.
Excellent work, guys.
Thank you, Alan.
All right, Alan. Be easy.
Yes, if you're a student for Mr. Omar's class and you need to sign in, if you already signed in, don't worry about it. It's just if you missed it earlier. Thank you for coming, Skylar. Okay, I'm gonna take off the next couple of people. There are only 2 more people and they're not active, so I'm gonna.
Thanks, Michael. Have a good one. Michael's one of my interns.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for coming.
I hope you learned something.
Okay, now we have Meredith.
Guys, the recording's still going on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, should we take it off? This concludes the Summer 2020 SGA Town Hall. Thank you. I'm going to stop recording.